ta 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 ta. Well, I just told this female, whoever she is, that contacted me on my phone, and I told her, I said, I don't speak with females, so I don't talk with them, I don't converse with them unless I know them. But other than that, I don't do it. And guys, I want you to listen to me. You want to get in trouble quick? Start developing these intimate conversation with these women who knows how to trap and trick men into them because they know that we love beauty. I love a beautiful person. She asked me before I blanked her off again, well, you still must like me. You still looking at me. No, I have more than one call coming in, whoever this woman is. And I don't know why they're trying to trap me. I don't dig women like that. I am a homosexual. I don't, I dig my own species instead of another species. So you have to find one of these men that are bedazzled by um, a woman's beauty or whatever it is they have, that they have to talk with you. I don't. I'm just trying to okay, here we go. There we go. Yes, you can. I really appreciate you guys. 100% on that. You can chime in. I'm going to have a very good discussion with you today. I was going to call it Fallen from Grace, and many of my um, many of my friends back in the day might say, yeah, I think Pastor John has fallen from grace. And I took some notes. I was looking at a YouTube page of a gay pastor who claimed to be no longer gay. So those of you that chimed into my come into my webcast, I think you're gonna like this one. It's really a funny thing. The person I was looking at, he did a webcast with a friend of his. His name is and it was called Confronting Homosexuality by Reginald Robinson. Okay. And he was trying to give the premise that if a person is born and willing to admit that that person has homosexual tendencies and he is of the same sex as anybody, that he should be ashamed to mention who he is, because the way he puts it, that we should be ashamed of being a homosexual. I've told you on numerous occasions, I'm not gay. I don't know what that means. Um, and there was a young man by my house earlier today visiting a friend of mine, and I loved the shirt that he had on. He had on this shirt. Let me show it to you. See what's on there? And I live in the Crenshaw area. My last name starts with C, and I love the color blue and white, and it's a warm. I said, "Ooh, I want that. I want that shirt." Guess what? He gave it to me. Yes, he did. Just like that. And I even told him, I said, "You are so." I told him, I said, "You are so." I told him, I said, "You are so." You hear that feedback? He's so generous and he was so handsome. And the good Reverend Reginald Robinson would say that we've all fallen from grace. Well, this is what I'm going to discuss. Let's discover the concept of falling from grace. Falling from grace in the Christian faith, and I know because I spent my entire life espousing this idea of grace. Grace, from the way I was taught it in the Bible, and I was a pastor of the church. Grace is unmerited favor, favor that God gives you that you can't do anything to work for it. You can't do meritorious works in order to get this grace. Now, here recently, and let me keep you informed, I have a tumor under my left arm. I had the biopsy taken a few days ago. I'm not really concerned whether it's cancerous or not, because I'm going to live my life like it's golden in my mind because I have no money. I have no money. I don't need money to live a fulfilled life. I was born the way that I am, and I don't need to change in any way. Let me talk to my homosexual brothers out there because this is a completely different era that we live in, and I'm not trying to live anybody else's life for me. And I hope that they aren't trying to live their lives for me because I'm not trying to live mine for you. And you can, let me see if this thing works because it should. If I want to put there, I just want to say this, okay? That's the response that I want. What do you say? What do you say? I'm keeping it 100 because I want to hear from you. If you think that I've fallen from grace, any of you past, see, I'm not afraid like you. I'm not afraid to say what needs to be said. When I was a pastor, I wasn't. Even the people that disagreed with me when I was a pastor, okay. This was my Rolodex statement. Well, if you don't agree with me and I know I'm right, you're going to hell and I'm going to heaven. That was wrong. Because if I had opened up, listen to me, those of you that are still trapped in that horrible thing, horrible thing, horrible thing. Hmm. Those of you that are still trapped in it, I'm just trying to give you a way out. There. And I'm going to ask a few questions because I jotted it down. Reginald kept saying in his little thing on confronting homosexuality, and I know all the verses. So if you try to educate me about me falling from grace, I've never said nor done anything to displease my maker, my creator. That's why when that woman tried to contact me over my phone, and I don't know these women, sometimes men, and they try to contact me, just because a man is handsome, striking, dynamic, smart, doesn't mean I want to lie with him. Quiet as kept, I lie with very few people. I don't go out there looking for somebody to lie with. I look for somebody that I can spend time with, that can spend adequate time for me and enrich my life. That's what I try to do. But I don't go out looking for people to lie with. I think that's not only suicidal behavior, but it's not wisdom. It's not wisdom at all. And I like to think of myself as a man of wisdom. Oh, let me fill you in. I went and I had my biopsy. I'm still waiting on the doctor to tell me whether this tumor, that's what they call it, under my left arm, whether or not this tumor is malignant or can grow into something else. I'm waiting to hear the results of that. Now, for those of you that think I need to call in the prayer band to pray for me, don't pray for me, because when it is JC's time to go, he is going. I may go in a horrific way. See, I can talk about humanity. I can talk about my life. And I'm talking to you like this because this is for adults, not children. It's not for children. This is for adult minds. You should be able to talk about when you're going to leave the planet and how you feel about it. The inevitable question that I have for you is, why couldn't you talk about it? Why couldn't you be resolved? Check this out. If I discover from my hospital that this tumor is cancerous, what do you think I'm going to be over here doing? Crying, belly aching, acting like somebody with no hope? I have all the hope in God that I am living for the praise of His glory. And you, as long as you are not, hey, let me fix this up. As long as you are not hurting anyone, keeping anyone from being prosperous in their life, holding them back from being a successful individual, I'm defining to you what love is. If there is a heaven, and I believe that there is a designated place for good souls, that's not only good to the environment, good to other people, that don't care what religion the other person is, really don't give too much of a concern even about what the other person believes. But if you love that person, wait a minute. I think Paul spoke about that in one verse in the Bible. I think he said it. If a man has enough to feed the poor, build houses, help people prosper in this life, but then it says, but hath not love. Now hear me. I'm accused of abandoning the faith because I came out as a man in the LGBT community. And I might add to my brothers that watch me on a regular basis, I am grateful for your love for me and my very much love for you. When I was in the hospital and the doctors did the little test the first time, and a friend of mine asked me, what if it's cancer? I said, well, that's my way out. I'm 80 years old. I'm not afraid of dying. I don't have anything against anybody. I've never done anything to anybody to harm their soul, their spirit. Did I not tell that lady the right thing when she tried to contact me? She tried to contact me in a sexual manner. I don't do that. I don't even contact men in a sexual manner like that. I have men always wanted to come by and hang out with me. I'm a sage. Why not? I'm still good looking. I'm not complaining. God is good to me, just like God is good to you. I would never accuse you from falling from grace. I would accuse you of not appreciating who you are, because I believe that that's what every individual should do. He should appreciate who he is. I'm looking for something that belongs to me. You excuse me. And you know what I'm looking for, because I want this to be on a high level. I'm not going to rush through this. I have some notes. I'll show you. Oh, see all those notes? I took down those notes when I'm listening to a Black Christian pastor who was living in the gay lifestyle and now trying to condemn all of the people that he was cohorting with to hell. Now, first of all, don't ever follow a man like that, because he'll switch on you in a dynamic. I'm 80 years old. I don't switch. You know, when I tell somebody I dig you, I love you, I'm a friend of yours, I dig them and I love them, and I am a friend of theirs. I don't change my drift because someone else thinks a particular kind of way. I don't do that. So, as you listen to me tonight, I want you to turn off your other music, and I want you to ask yourself some very serious, important questions about your life. Did God make a mistake when he created you? Now, I'm not talking about some immoral, some crime, some difficulty that people have a tendency to do and get caught up by the authorities and taken to jail. I'm not talking about that. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine earlier about thievery, because there was a young man that came by my house and he took something from me. And he said, how do you feel about that? I told the young man, if you wanted it, all you had to do was ask me. I would have given it to you. Just like the homosexual man that came by here today that had this on. And I said, that's a beautiful shirt. And with the initial on it, and I never kissed this man or anything like that. Guess what he did? He took it off of him and said, here. And it's so nice and warm. and delight. He didn't have to do that, but that's why I travel with people that are more like me than less like me. Now, let's talk about that. Because, see, I have this theorem that I haven't put on paper yet because it's going to take a special kind of person to read my treatise. And so I just put it out there. Everybody that calls himself gay is not a homosexual because there's too much friction in that group. So I question whenever I see a homosexual man or woman ready to go to war with someone of their own tribe over trivial matters, I don't think that person is homosexual. I think they're gay. They're going through a phase. They're attempting to, and I want you to follow along as you listen to this dialogue that I'm going to have with you tonight. Because some of you are ashamed of what you are. I'm not ashamed of what I am. I'd be ashamed if I were trying to. No, I didn't try to parlay on with my wife like that. We had a discussion about how I had to live with her. And I just I remember telling Lucy once you ever get tired of me, dump my ass. You don't have to be with me. If I stop taking care of you like a man should take care of a woman, if I stop giving you a nice, clean, warm place to lie your head, and that's what I did for the 35 years that she was with me. You can ask my daughters that. Lucy wanted for nothing but a larger house, which I told her I'm not giving her. Just like that. I said, if this house don't make it, you ain't gonna make it. And I'm not getting in double-dyed debt to get you a bigger house because you're a woman. I don't do that. I know that many of you will watch this after the fact, but know that I'm still that way. If I find a male bonding session and the male bonder really like me and asked me to do that, I would say, I'm not doing that for you. What's the matter with you? You think I'm a fool? Thank you. Somebody's joining me here. Glad I got somebody else joining. I want you to listen to this one because I'm asking you, G Mars, hi, good evening. I'm asking you, can anyone with words make you feel like you've fallen from grace in anything that you believe and done? Now, it is possible for me to fall from grace. That means if I blaspheme God or totally say something that God totally disagrees with. I'm not concerned about men disagreeing with it. A lot of men don't like me to come out and tell them that I'm a homosexual. I am. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid to deal with reality as it confronts me. Are you? That's how I challenge my young gay friends. I tell them, you're not homosexual, you're gay. That's two different kinds of species. See, because if you're homosexual, you're going to do what you can to protect you and your family and your loved ones and your friends by all means. When one of my friends said, John, please don't ever go on your webcast and tell anybody that I'm a homosexual. I won't. If you won't, I sure won't. I don't want to be the truth serum for you. Don't want to do that. I'm answering the question because this so-called pastor is saying that if any man remains in homosexuality, and call himself a Christian, well, I won't call myself a Christian. I was bona fide by God before Christianity got started. I was bona fide by God before Judaism got started. I don't need no man to determine to me whether I've fallen from grace. And it don't even make me mad. I look at him like, are you crazy? See, every human being, listen to me, correct me if you think I'm wrong. That's why you got that keypad in front of you, G Mars. You know whether you are right or wrong in this world. And don't tell me that I don't feel guilty because I have a seared, what do they used to call it in Christian? A seared conscience. What is that? Oh, he's so gone that he doesn't even listen to his conscience. I listen to my conscience every day. I was in the hospital. I went by a friend of mine's uh, birthday party, and his mama cooked some good food for him. And I've known his lovely mother. I met her years ago. And I went by there and ate Sunday, and I shouldn't have eaten all that food because it blew my blood pressure up to over 225, and the hospital wouldn't let me go home until they brought it back down. Yeah, down. I took it this morning. It was 126 over something later on this early afternoon. So it's under control. But I didn't think that my blood pressure shot up because of how I was living or anything that I was doing. I didn't, because I don't do that. This is an adult show. That's bullshit. Don't let anyone ever do that to you. I've never hated anyone. I felt sorely about a few people. I've been let down by a hell of a lot of people, but I've never hated people. And I have people that knew me in the organized Christian religion that won't even talk to me. Dare not talk to me. I guess they figured that the curses are going to rub off on them. That's ridiculous. Anyone that thinks like that is ridiculous. I was watching a movie. What was it? It was on, oh, where was this movie? I think this thing was on Amazon Plus. And it was a movie about a Brazilian boy. He was gay, you want to call him that. He hadn't experienced enough to know about himself to know what he was. But it was quite an interesting film, English subtitles. I read it, and as I was reading it, they had a scene in the movie where the boy was down and out. His mother had died, and he went to his father's house, who had claimed his mother's ashes. But the father refused to stay with the son, and so the mother chose to raise her son, take care of him, and he was homosexual. And it was an interesting scene in the movie when the boy was eating out of garbage cans, and he went to his father and begged him for some food. And the father grabbed his hand and pulled him in the house like he was going to accept him. The boy was crying. 17-year-old son. Soon as the father got him in the house, he grabbed the boy and punched him down and said, "You get out of here, you dirty, stinking faggot." When he said that in the movie, I had never felt such a disdain for a human being that would address a 17-year-old lad because he loved his own kind. I don't get it. I still don't get it. I don't know why that's such a taboo. And please don't go to me with what the Bible says, because I got a couple of cases that I can cite in that ancient book that can prove you and all of your disjointers wrong. I just quote one, Jonathan and David. I guess they were dirty faggots too, right? No. One was a man that sought after God's own heart, and the other one was the son of a king, which I believe I could be. Anyhow, back to brass tacks. I wrote something down in my notes. I could have had any other kind of, yes, did I have any other kind of sin besides that? If you couldn't tag me with that, you can't, because I was born that way. So if you want to accuse me of sin, and I'm talking about you straight dudes and gals out there, okay? Which you have chosen differently. Because if you had have chosen differently, you're a hypocrite. You lived your whole life hypocritically. I didn't. I didn't go around telling anybody what I was feeling and expression at the time I grew up as a young man. You didn't do no shit like that. I'm trying to help you people that are young, because these older people will try to mess your mind up, your life up, and everything else. And many of them are not happy where they are. Very rarely are you going to find a man that's happy with that woman and everything that she did. I know I didn't find it in Lucy. In practically everything, I loved her. She loved me. She was my soulmate as a woman. But I never did any inordinate things with her. I wouldn't do any inordinate things with a woman because I wasn't attracted to a woman like that. A friend of mine, he's a straight guy. He used to be a member of my church. He asked me, John, not at one time. No, brother, not at one time. I want to help you out, so that after I shovel off this mortal coil, you will need a testimony. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fuss with you. I'm going to keep it toned down like this, and I'm just going to have a conversation. And I want my gay friends and homosexual friends, two different kinds of one species, to listen very closely in order that they might discover who they are. Now, let me tell you how sure I am. I had a straight man come by my house last night. What I mean by straight, he don't cohort with men like that at all. I know it because I raised that man like a son to me. I know that man. He said, "Oh man, you made a statement. Nobody wants to address it yet." And he says, and it makes all the sense in the world. And I asked him, I said, "What did I say? What did I say, Mario? That makes me such a profound man." Know what he told me? He said, "Some men are gay, feminized, want to be a woman, not satisfied with who they are. not really understanding what homosexuality is all about because they don't enjoy being a homosexual to the max. They want to be secretly women. I'm a homosexual. I don't want to be no woman. Secretly or out. I don't want God to change what he made me. There it is. There it is. That's how come John Coleman has a problem sometimes, not all times. I'm going to be a homosexual that's going to tell the truth. I have problems with transgender men. I can't figure out why, for the sake of me, that brother wants to be a sister. Now, if some of you would like to leave an answer, I'm thinking you fallen from grace. There's nothing better than a black man can be than a black man. No, of course, I'm talking about clothed and in his right mind and not a crazy fool. I like what I see. I like it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do something that I've never done or said before. I thank God for you two. I thank God for you two. Because I can sit in my house on this day, and what is today? The 9th of May, 2024, and express who and what I am. Hey. You can bring an accusation against me. You can go to any holy book you want to and try to kill me. Well, that shows that you are being the person that you are. Because if you want me to be deceased, because I'm not like you, being deceased would be a privilege. All right? And I'm not crazy. I'm very sane. I want to talk to you because a lot of you youngsters are feeling torn apart by what these people say to you, especially the ones that's going to somebody's church door and listen to them. And if you do very close research on these so-called pastor types, either they are ex-pastors or habitual liars wrestling with their own identity. I don't wrestle with my identity. Let me continue to read some of this stuff. Okay? God gave people the opportunity to choose what they want. That's what this preacher said. God gave people the opportunity to choose what they want. This gay guy turned preacher, and he ain't gay no more, or whatever he is, said God gave him the power. That proved that he was never a homosexual. Because you don't choose this. You ask any true homosexual, he didn't choose to be a homosexual. No, he didn't. I wish one of these homosexual groups, gay groups, would call me to be on a panel discussion with them. I love to go on with them. I would. And I said, you mean to tell me God gave you the opportunity to choose to be gay or straight? That's what you're trying to tell me, that I could have chosen. So that means that when I was a little boy, that's what he just discovered. He's in, and speaking like he's a prophet, and God has given him all these words and everything. I said, look, they can't even lie straight. And I don't want to have a discussion with that young man. I'm just going to tell him, because I'm going to tell you, when I was married, and the reason that I'm saying all these things, I'm trying to help the people that are alive today, that are wrestling with this. What you are is what God made you. You can't change that. The Christian organization had this group, man. They had one stupid group called the Promise Keepers. They don't even exist anymore. You can't keep your promise. I knew that was bantam foolishness when I first heard it. I said, how many years have I asked God, why did he make me the way he made me? And why didn't he make me like other men? And do you know what I felt? I felt the fear of God come on me, because I was questioning the divine creator's intention upon my creation. He didn't say, you cannot parlay in religion unless you are like all those men in religion alike. God only told me one thing for all of my ministerial career. You, John Coleman, will tell them what I show you. God didn't tell me to jump into nobody's sexuality. Ask them how many times a week were they having intercourse. Uh, 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 when they were having marriage counseling problems, I asked the husband and wife, or whoever that I assumed they were married. I said, did you tell your partner how you love to be satisfied as a human being? And any of you that are tuned in, write any question or do anything like that. If you curse me out, I probably won't answer you. I'll just say thank you for your opinion. I'm not moved. But I'm listening to this preacher. It was a YouTube clip called um, Homer's. Sorry, I can't read it. I'm away from a light. Confronting homosexuality with Reginald Robertson. You can go to that clip on YouTube, Confronting Homosexuality. And for those of you that differ with me, go to his page and you will find a friend in him. And if you are what I think you are, because Christianity has become a corrupt religion followed by individuals that don't know what they're talking about, but making those kinds of statements. And I find it interesting because I meet persons like myself that can freely have a discussion about human life, sexuality, reality, and what makes for love. See, what makes for love is not me loving like, see, Nancy Reagan loved Ronald Reagan, right? I loved old Ronnie too, but I never fall all over his coffin the way that she did, because I knew what he stood for when it came to the lives of other people. And I think through by myself on my own these kinds of axioms. It's very important that you do that you think through this on your own. All right. Let me tell you something else a good reverend said. It tickled me. And it took me a few days before I was able to sit down and do this. What makes a thing a sin? What makes a thing a sin? Now, I'm going to quote. I remember when I joined the church, I asked my pastor, what is sin? He said, well, some people call it missing the mark. Okay. Whose mark? I'd be missing my mark if I wanted to be a woman. I'm really serious about this because this transgender thing is, I can see why a lot of non LGBT people don't like that. Because you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of changing societal structure. Now, if you want to, in this country, you can dress up like a woman, switch like one, talk like one, behave like one. Go ahead. If you want to do that, I can still be your friend and love you. But please don't ask me to get on that primrose lane with you. I'm not going there. Now, some of my LGBT friends, well, John, you already got a little sugar in your blood. I don't know what they talking about. I've always been like this. See what I mean? How people can make up what sin is, what something is wrong. I won't give any names, but not too long ago, I met a young man, dynamically handsome. Matter of fact, he looks a lot like me and just beautiful. As a matter of fact, he gave me this shirt because I asked him, I said, oh, I love that shirt. I love it. He took it off of his back and gave it to me. I immediately put it on. You know what I'm apt to do? There's someone visiting me, and I would love to invite them in and tell me how they feel about this discussion. 5 will get you 10. They will not do it because they would be ashamed of people knowing the true them. I don't know why anyone would be ashamed of being who they are. Then I wrote down after I heard that, but wait, let me explain to you what sin is. Sin origin about 200 years after Christ died, historically, was a theologue from northern Africa, a black man, if you will, not a white man. And long after Origen gave his definition of sin, the white Europeans have been wrestling trying to define it. That's why, well, if you do this, this is a sin. If you don't do that, that's a sin. You got, oh, you can't hold a man's hand. Man, if you're attracted to holding a man's hand, and you go ahead and hold his hand, it's better than holding a female's hand that's just going to want more money out of you. If the man got him a job and he working and you working, you can make it better. You can live cheaper. You're going to have less disagreements. You get a woman, she going to keep you going to that bank. I know. I was married to one. I love going to the bank because I love giving her what she wanted. Why? Because she gave me 2 of the most beautiful offspring that I've ever seen in my life. Now, what is sin, John? I'm going to quote it. I don't have to read it. I don't need it on a piece of paper. Every student that took basics of the faith with me can quote what sin is. And this is the way I taught them. I didn't teach them like these bootleg pimps that's just after their money, trying to do a brain job on them. I said, listen to Origen's definition. When theologues in the first 2 or 3 centuries were wrestling with, well, what do we tell people sin is? I mean, how do we really know that they're following our faith and not sinning? Origen came up with this: the lack of conformity to the revealed will of God and the refusal of the creature to be related to his creator by faith. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? You want me to repeat it again? Wait a minute. I got it. All right. I'll repeat it again so that you can hear it. And I want you to listen. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I need a little bit of my nice stuff. And for those of you that this offends, turn the channel. Get off my channel. Because I'm not talking to you. Grown people that's afraid to face reality. And I'm 80 years old and told the doctor, man, I'm not caring what this tumor's going to be. Let it be cancerous. Let me die. But I love my brothers. I love my community. I love the people that love me. And I'm not going to lie to them. I'm only going to tell them the truth. Because that is the way I live. Now let's deal with this. The lack of conformity to the revealed will of God. That's the first part of it. In other words, what sin is when you do not conform to what you know God said. So if God birthed you and you're homosexual, God has said that. You must conform to that. Now, this bogus aspect of this religion, oh, you got to go and you got to be cleansed from who you are. No, you don't. That's why I never had these seminars where you brought these crackpots in and have you praying to snot come out your nose and mouth because you don't want to be fat. Just stop eating all that sugar and fat shit. You be all right. Discipline yourself. The lack of conformity to the revealed will of God. God has to reveal that to you. Now, I know about the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah. I know that whole region back in the day was corrupt. Many of these religious people might look at us today and think that we're the most corrupt creatures that anybody has ever seen. That's not true. The lack of conformity to the revealed will of God and the refusal of the creature. This is what sin is, where you, as a creature of the created, refuse to acknowledge what he has said in you to live by some other spectrum. That's what sin is. I knew that when I'm married, listen to me, I knew, wait a minute, somebody wrote me something. Let me see what they're saying. The lack of conformity to the revealed will of God. Everything you hear, son, is not God's revelation to you. That's man's opinion about God's revelation to you because the man doesn't like it. What that, I call him a bootleg preacher now because he needs to get his head back. If he says the power of suggestion, oh, no, I said that. I said, what makes a thing a sin? That's what I'm trying to come to. What makes I want to be as frank but be decent at the same time because many of you don't understand homosexuality. You don't. I've been in my whole life and I'm 80 years old and God keeps bringing me back from the dead. Every time I go to the hospital, I get something and I'm coming back and I'm stronger. All my senses, everything is stronger. And I'm going to listen to somebody else's opinion. So that's right, the lack of conformity to the revealed will of God. First of God, you've got to find out whether you are conforming to God's will based upon what God says to you, not with what God is saying to the other person. Hear me out on this. I ain't never shot nobody, cut nobody. I never stole anything from anybody that I didn't give back. I never brought sorrow to anybody's eyes by telling them the truth. If some of them did get sorrowful, let it be said, let it be done. God told me to preach the truth. He never told me to say, look at David and Jonathan. What kind of love was that that was not the love of a woman? I'll tell you what kind of love it was. The kind of love that a man has for a man. That's what Jonathan and David have. Why does that bother you? Oh, no, it didn't mean, no, it doesn't mean that because you don't like men. You around here following these made up chicks with false this and false that. That's what I, again, don't like about transgenderism. If you want to be transgenderism, go ahead and be that. But why you got to put on the fake? See, I don't agree with everything in the LGBT community. I don't. And you don't either. You're just too afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't want to be no woman, bro. And I think you look darn good as a man. But if you come at me like a man, hey, need a little bit of my sativa. Now, for those of you that don't know about the medicine, it has a little sting to it because it's working. All right, let me keep moving. Let me keep moving. Yes. Let me do the second part. And the refusal of the creature to be related to his creator by faith. In other words, if you know who you are, when my dear wife of 35 years died, and why did I make that choice to marry Lucy? She needed me to marry her because she needed permanent resident. She didn't want to be sent back to the islands. And I needed a woman to legitimize my character in this very biased, mixed up, colonized plantation that I lived on. I got all my degrees. I'm not looking for any jobs. I'm not afraid to say anything. You should come up like that, live like that, walk like that. If anybody has you second guessing, if anybody has you second guessing out there and who you are and what you are, even to my transgender buddies, you go ahead if you want to dress in that dress. Some stages it's going to get you hurt. When I'm out in public, they don't know that I'm a homosexual because they'd hold their children next to them because they're stupid, they're ignorant. They don't know what it is. At least clinically look at it. But some people are so jackass stupid, they don't know how to look at it clinically. If you have anybody in your family that is Gay is what they want to call it. You should ask them, do you love your mother? He's going to say, of course I love my mother. I love my sisters. I love my mother. I love all the women in my family and all the women that I know I love. Well, how come you don't get a girlfriend? I don't want that. Oh, let me tell you guys a story. We took a bus. I went to Fremont High and I lived on 118th and between Broadway and Town Avenue. Look it up on the map. And I was in high school, 15, 16, something like that. On the way home, and this girl, I forget her name, kind of light skinned girl, pretty little lips. I thought she was so cute. The opposite of Joanne, because Joanne was another girl on the bus that would try to follow me home every day. I'd get off the bus and run home. One week I'd get off a week before my block before my stop, or a block after my stop, because she'd get off and she found where you live. I want to know where your house is, and I'm coming by there. And I'm gonna make love. You know what she said, and I said, "You better not." I said, "You'd better not." I said, "If you come over there, I'm gonna get my brother. He passed away the other day. I'm gonna get my brother Ross to knock you out." Because I wasn't a fighter. I wasn't that. So I jump off the bus prior to it. But this Butch, he was the gang member from that part of town. And he had a pretty little girlfriend. And she was always winking at me. And I wanted to see what that was all about. Because none of the guys hang out with me on the playground. I only had one gay friend all throughout high school, and that was Larry Beasley. I understand he died. Larry Beasley, I understood later on in adult life, had become transgendered, a cross dresser. And we had lunch almost every day in the quad area at Fremont High School, and we never discussed our sexuality. Ever. And we knew what each other was. We didn't have to go around discussing that. No, I wasn't attracted to him. No, he wasn't attracted to me. There's just something that we knew about each other. I didn't switch when I was a kid. And to this date, I have no rear end. I don't have a large protruding rear end. And that's another phenomenon why I don't understand why so many black, oh no, I can understand the relational hookup, the feelings and everything, but I cannot trying to get for, and there's so many straight men like that now. All of them want big behinds. I don't get it. Though I find myself, and I've got to say this because I have to be real with you, I find myself watching that. Hell, I don't know why. I love it. Let me see. One of my writers says, the lack of conformity to the revealed will of God. Oh, and the second part of that, G. Mars, was, and the refusal of the creature to be related to his creator by faith. How am I related to my creator by faith? By accepting what he created me to be. God didn't bore me on this earth and have a psychiatrist to see, man, that mess came from Europe right after World War II. You guys don't know. There were no psychiatrists that practiced with a license in this country before World War II ended. They start bringing in all these schools for shrinks, giving you somebody else's opinion and telling you, well, this is why you shouldn't be that because of this. And you live up. Did you hear about that young man that blew his mama's? I don't know how he killed his mama. Got into an argument with his mother. The mother called the police, and the boy, 25 years old, killed his own mama. 30 years she was a school teacher. That boy was bothered. I'm going to tell you something. A person is going through problems when that happens. Just all of a sudden. I'm talking to you because I want you to be more at ease and relaxed about who you are. You didn't sin. If you're gay, you didn't sin. It isn't a sin to be gay. Oh, don't be like that. Why did your uncle, why did my daddy tell me that? He wanted me to be like him? He's dead. His parents are dead. I can talk about it. The daddy that supposedly raised me was a womanizer and scandalous. And most of our parents are that. All we have to do is to admit it. Why won't we admit it? What we like, our parents like. And they met some people on the planet that like just what they like. And they got together. That's what relationships are all about. It's not all about that whether he's a male or a female. If you meet up with a female and you're homosexual and you can get along with her better than you can get along with a man, what's the matter with you? Same thing goes for women. I'm wondering if any of my guests would like to come in and join this. You hang around. Let me go see. And I'll be sure to come back. And I hope that the answer is yes, because I need some help to state my case. Is my shirt nice? Isn't it nice? I'll be right back. Are you ready to come in now and join my cast? Thank you. Just be can. Oh, you're not going to have on a shirt? Well, come on. Come on. Okay. Yeah. I found a volunteer. He is dressed. Everything's on him. It's we
I'm
like
just,
it very warm in the house. And
I was just chilling. Hey, YouTube,
yeah, I
Kaylin,
yes, Katie.
and I was just chilling. It's my day off.
Yes.
But I hear what he's talking about. The last topic that you
Oh, okay.
addressed.
You've been listening.
Yes,
Okay.
the last topic that he just addressed about
Other people
being
try to make
attracted, being
yes.
attraction is
Right.
what it is.
Right.
And growing up, I because
Come on, you don't want him to think you crazy. Say it right.
I'm not crazy. It's attraction, and growing up, I was always called like, oh, the F word. We don't want to say it. Faggot. Oh, you're a faggot. Oh, yeah. I was more closer to the females. Now the guys was like that was all the guys that's all they would say. And I had all the girlfriends. I was around all the girls. You know what? They were
What?
just jealous.
Who is jealous of what?
They were jealous of me.
Why were the girls jealous of you?
No. I was close to the girls.
Oh, the boys. They were jealous because you had more girlfriends than straight boys.
And I had all the girls I had, and
See, each
I
man's
hooked,
battle is different because,
and I this is when I was younger, you know.
yeah.
I made some of them my girlfriends. They were really mad. The guys.
When did you decide in your mind that you were different? How old were you?
It's not a decision. I was just different.
Right.
Like I was born this way. It's nothing that you choose.
Thank you.
It's not true.
Because straight people don't choose being straight.
You know, and that's the thing. I didn't grow up asking, like, are you straight? I always got asked, are you gay? Are you
Mhm.
gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? Always the topic of a discussion. Always. I
Really?
can't just be me. Yes.
They would just come out to discuss it like that.
Are you gay? Growing up.
Oh, yeah, it had to be because gay was a term, because they didn't use that term when I grew up. They said Junie is a sissy. I didn't say I am not. I just went to the other room.
Yeah, they used to just ask me straight
I
up.
acknowledge who I was. I'm not going to deny it, but I'm not going to get in the, so what you going to do? That's why I just got up and went to the other room.
Being younger, exactly. You avoided that. Being younger, you know, when you're a kid, you don't know what gay is. I'm just being me.
Right.
I'm just being me.
That's amazing. I've never heard it put that way. That's good. You're just being you. And so
I
why
play
would
sports,
in
you guys. I was
yeah.
I was an athlete from 9 years old all the way up until high school. I played sports. Listen, varsity jacket. Oh, just like this. You got on Crenshaw.
Yes.
Just like that. Are you gay? Are you gay? The guys. The girls
Why
did
were
not
they
care.
asking? Did they tell why they were asking? Or did they give an
Do you want to
explanation?
get into that?
Huh?
Do you really want to get into that? Or why?
I wouldn't mind it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You know me. I don't press for no answers.
Some of them was curious.
Some of them was curious. Yes, you've answered correctly. That's human beings.
Exactly.
That's
But
why,
I was just living my life, you guys. Living my life.
yes.
As a young man, I've always been into the
Ooh,
arts,
I'm
you
glad you
know,
said that
always been.
because I remember I had never had a gay experience. I'm on the way home from high school, taking the Atkinson transportation line, and I heard the guys talking. We're gonna get off here because this guy named Opal lived up the street, and they were gonna have some kind of homosexual event. And I had never heard
See,
that before, and
I
I
didn't even do
wanted to
that.
go. I wanted to go, but I was too afraid to go because I said, "Oh no, this cannot be right."
Well, that makes sense in your world growing up.
Go ahead.
That makes sense. Why you didn't go. See, where I lived and what the guys talked about, they were talking about females and just stupid shit. In my opinion, stupid things that like I didn't align what they talked about.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking about that.
yeah.
So back to attraction. That's why I would be with the girls. And
Well,
I grew up with my mom. I grew up with my mom. I grew up around a lot of female energy. They were just always more logical, you know. The guys was just like,
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Yeah.
relax.
Okay. So that was a normal childhood to
I
you.
guess.
All right. And it was a normal one to me too. But now what they would do when people's children come out that way and they think that way, because we have to come to the point where we realize that everything we are has been predetermined by God. Now we can work on changing certain
Yeah,
things,
we got to work on
but
ourselves.
basically the things that are deep down in the heart, you're not changing. You're not doing that. Well, all right, you've answered me.
Mhm.
I understand. I wanted to call this because I heard what that preacher was saying. Saying that if you and I, since we're talking, don't change from this disposition, and please don't cuss them out. But you and I, if we don't change from this disposition, these religious people said that we're going to suffer the torments of a burning, wretched hell for the rest of our lives because they do not agree on us being happy around men. That to me, man, is the saddest thing I could think about an individual. If you just think about it, man, that is the saddest. I don't want to be with that religion. You know what? This is the first time I'm saying this in my life. I don't want to be that religion that taught me that. I'm glad I can say that I'm still alive. I don't know why or how I could ever believe such nonsense. I never believed it because I never stated
I
it.
was saying,
I never stated it because if you can't define it, you can't defend it. I never stated it. If you heard me
you know,
speaking against that, that was just, yeah, yeah, yeah. We know what that says. Let's keep moving.
you want to know something?
Yeah, I want to know something.
It's okay for others to have an opinion about you. Okay.
You think it is?
Yes.
Not the wrong one.
Okay, and then you don't focus on that.
I don't.
Just because someone
You
doesn't
think,
like me,
okay, do you think this should be the last webcast on that subject matter? Say it.
because you kind of focus on it too much.
No, I'm focusing on it because they haven't stopped focusing on it.
It wouldn't. It's
They're
not going to.
still doing it.
Yes, and they're going to
And
continue to do
they
it.
need, I don't want them to.
I just explained to you guys, YouTube. It happened my whole life. Always curious about what I'm doing. Always curious about what I'm doing. It would never change. That's the reality. Now, moving on.
See how he helps me? Let me tell you something. When you get old like me, 60s, 70s, and then 80s, you better have somebody at your side.
I think that's
I
important.
would rather he be very attractive, very handsome,
Yeah,
very congenial to me, and I with him. Because when you listen, you older guys, I'm 80 years old. And when you get old, you can become one of two things: a grumpy old peasant or a man that will put on a nice shirt and everything. You saw me get up, I'm getting up slower. I'm getting slower because I'm going down. But, you see, this is,
I'm looking at myself because I'm just talking, but I can
yes,
see
you're
myself.
looking at yourself and you're looking at the monitor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yes. Yes, but don't be obvious. Remember, you
No.
be
We
coy.
live right now.
You like my mustache, man, the way I got that shit?
Your beard?
Yeah, what you call it, a beard?
That's what you
Yeah.
got.
And this is
I like it.
ooh, I like it.
And your high cheekbones.
I like it, man.
You
And it looks on the monitor, it looks nice.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
No, he just called me in here, you guys. Like, this is, what do you call it? Spontaneous.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry that I haven't speaking you guys, but I really don't have anything to say. The only thing is when I get the deal about what the tumor is, I'll let you know.
Hmm.
But, you know,
He's going to be okay.
see, I don't know why he said that. I didn't say that. See, it's bothering him,
It's not bothering me.
but it don't bother me.
I just want to know.
Okay.
You're going to be okay regardless.
Yes, I know that.
That's what I'm saying.
But what? See, and that's with love. See, that's with love. Now, we love each other. If that's offensive, or I'm not speaking. You know what? All you guys that I'm gonna get them. All you guys that are married, put them wedding. You know, you. Wait a minute. Somebody else is coming in. Come here. We got it. Yeah. See, now you guys, this is good. You got a treat because this is beautiful. And just stay in. Does he have a hurt? Does he have? Wait, can he come in?
Yeah, he's going to take my place. I know.
Well, why don't?
You said, oh.
No. Be decent. I want to ask him because he is the college.
Yeah, he
Now,
likes his books.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Cover up and be presented.
Well,
Come on,
yes. I want
Sit
you
right here,
to
young man.
get
your
that.
heart. I just came to say hi. What you want?
No, sit
Good
down
evening,
because I have to.
ask me a question.
Yeah, you kind of be there. Yeah, be there.
Oh, my teeth.
Be there. Now, here's the question. Here's the question.
Come on, real fast. I gotta go. I got things to do. I just got my braces off recently.
Look at this right here.
This is Emmanuel, you guys. To introduce yourself first and foremost.
Can you read? Can you read that?
Yeah, just your handwriting. I don't know.
God give people to the opportunity to choose what they want. Do you believe that? Do you believe that
I get to choose what I
God
want?
gives you to choose what kind of people are you going to be? Do you
what kind of person I'm going to be?
Yes, what you're going to be.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Not be. I think be is a very natural aspect where it's not something you could change like clothes. You know, it's your nature. Your being is your nature. So I don't think you can necessarily. Now there's some people that think that you choose yourself before you come to this planet. You know. But I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I can't change my being. My being can be altered based upon trauma and pain.
Could God have made a mistake?
No.
All right.
No, I don't think God makes mistakes.
And so you just roll with it.
I don't roll with
And I know
him.
that you're changing as you mature. You're going to continuously change and everything. But is there enough of you that is the real deal that you can never change?
Yeah, there's some authentic aspects that, and that they're not. I think the things that change is the things that is rooted in immaturity and trauma and pain. Those things change, but your core self outside of all that never changes.
Hmm. Oh, hi, Xerix. He says, oh, my thoughts about,
Oh, they're talking to each other, G Mars. And
oh, there's, okay, I'll
who's
leave
G
it alone.
Mars? Hey, you wouldn't know me. I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
I stopped the bullshit from this, and this will be the last, uh, like this one.
Let's discover the concept of falling from grace.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Have I really completed fallen from home?
What
I
is that
mean,
supposed to look like? Falling from grace. From what I've been told, falling from grace looks like your life is in shambles. It's fucked up.
that's right. Talk about that.
Yeah.
The one that is not falling apart, like me, my life isn't falling
Mm.
to trash. What? Somebody said something.
Hey, Xerix.
What are your thoughts on this
Mr.
life?
Reamer.
Oh, yeah, he's asking you.
Oh, he's asking me.
He's talking to you.
You quoted Origin. Did you take the
Of course,
class? Yes, I did.
I had to change origin because
I think
most of the see when people accuse you of being falling from grace, well, they're
yes. Braces is off.
what? What are you talking about?
Yes.
I won't tell you where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere tonight, a little later after the sun go down. I have to see something for my own eyes. Don't get embarrassed or upset. I'm not going to give them where I'm going. But I have to go somewhere because I have to see something for my own eyes.
Okay. Do you need to ask me any more quick? I gotta go.
Go ahead.
All right, Zix. All right, y'all.
Yes. I wanted to try to give that because everybody that I know, I give that test. And even Xerix, because sometimes we speak and we speak about other people that I know. And these people sometimes are like a revolving door. They're just going through the door. And all I wanted with everyone that I've ever knew professionally, I think you are one of the very few that never changes. You and Michael Koger, good brother. I remember when I appeared on his Men talking. It was rich to speak with those guys because they were transparent. Now I want. Oh, you were talking about G-Mans. Okay, yeah. How long should a person must one? That's it. Listen to my question. I'll be finished by 1:30. How long do you put up with another person's ambiguity about something that is right in front of them? How long do I pull up with it? That's what's pulling at me because I want to stop connecting with people that have negative thoughts and I want to move about other things. But the reason that I ask the young men to come and introduce themselves from time to time, I want a different deep thinking. Anyhow, I've been 90 minutes over, and I'm going to end up in conclusion. It says, the foundation of our healing is deliverance and the breakthrough. And then he said, I have it. He entered his program. He says, the foundation of our healing, meaning that person like me or must be broken up or in pieces that I got to be healed. That fool is crazy out of his mind. He said, our healing, and he says, deliverance and breakthrough. So I'm lacking being healed. I don't know what I need healed about me. And I need to be delivered from whom? Whom? I've been thinking about it all week. I said, what is this? Have I fallen from grace? Who have I so done so wrong that I need to be delivered? I need to be healed and delivered. And then Mr. Robinson said, uh, one can only, oh, he says, and the third thing is a breakthrough. And then he said, I have it. He said he had it. Well, see, he's speaking to his own, not speaking to me. I that kind of language. Well, let me see what my friend says. You will always be. I know that. I'm going to stop right now. But I am forever asking these questions. Listen, this man says that I will always be his professor, my radio mentor, and theological teacher. That will never change. I tell you one thing thus far about this little paragraph, that man knows me. He know you might as well get me and torture me. I can still reason and get it through. And then he says, and what you taught me will never change. I can defend it because years ago you taught us to define it. Define it. That's all I'm saying, man. Define it, and when you define it right, if God gave you a good brain, you will be able to translate that just what's right. So I'm not going to have the conversation with you. If my friends in the past do not ever want to ever talk with me, arrest, come by and visit me when you do. I'm going to do this until I die. Zarek, since you just came on, they found I had my biopsy, and you my cuss too, boy. I love you, man. Hey, I don't care what none of your family say. When you leave here, if I'm still here, I'm just gonna go, and I'm just gonna be sitting there smiling. Said, you rascal, you beat the teacher to the punchline. I love it. Oh my goodness. Kushak theory, Yuma Kushak. It's a cool live with Xerix Reamer. I've always enjoyed PA's dialogue. You know what, G Mars? That's why I love you. Because you're not afraid to tell the truth. I never have looked like a lot of people pointing in. Because you know when they watch me, boys? They watch me when they ain't got nothing going on for them. That's why I take my damn time and I do it. And I just want you to think about what I said. Because if not, oh man, Zarek, you should have heard what I got to end up with this. This, Zarek, you got to hear this. My son that's been here the longest time, But we talking 14, 15 years. He came here last night. He hugged me, squeezed me as tight as he could. This is what he said to me, Zeri. He said, "Thank you for everything you've done in my life." And I said, "Oh, you know how I try to brush it off." And he said, "No, no, no, I'm going to get this off." He said, "Man, you took me in. You fed me, bought me clothes, did everything, never asked for nothing back. You constantly helping brothers. And you ain't never touched me wrong, talked to me wrong." And it made me think about all the people in the church that could take people in, but wouldn't take them in to help them to save their life. No, I'm not going to say another word. They won't hear from me. I'm loving my life and getting ready to go on another, I guess, escape tonight to see how my city has changed so much. I know it's going to grieve me, but I have to see it for myself. Years ago, when my kids were teenagers, I put them in the back seat of my Dodge van, and I take them to Skid Row downtown. My two little girls were scared to death, plus three of her other friends. There were about six of them. And I took them down Skid Row, and I said, "I'm taking you kids downtown because I want to show you." And it was horrible for the kids. And I'm going out tonight to see how worse it got. I'll tell you about my story when I come back. I want to thank all of you that joined me for my webcast. I'm doing fine. I'm still waiting on whether it's cancerous or not. Regardless of what they find, I'm going to be up about this. Let me say it, and then you know how serious PJ is. If I find out something that makes you scream and not love it, if it is according to God's will, I'm not going to sin. I'm not going to display what Origen said, the lack of conformity to the will of God. And you refusing Him because you don't like God's call. Whatever call God gives you, respond and be happy with it. That's how you know you're at one with God. Listen to me. Anything happen in your life, whether it's good, bad, you get money, you have no money, you're evicted, you walk in the streets, whatever, you're eating garbage out of the car, all that, hey, don't blaspheme God. Say, "Lord, if you hear me," don't say if, He hears you. You say, "Oh God, I'm a little bothered by this. Will you please help me? Because I'm frightened." Yes. Yes. How did you know it was? He told me that, and he hugged me, and because he had just bought his own car out of his own bank, because the little car that he had broke, and he just went, and I told him, I said, "Look, son, you're making money. Your credit's good. Keep your nose clean. Go and get a car and don't get a piece of trash. Get something that's gonna last you a couple of years." He went right out and did it at my suggestion. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm happy, very happy tonight. And I thank my guests for coming um, to my website. I hope that I made some sense to some of you. I love you. I love you, Xerix. You got to come by. We got to talk very soon. Love you. Bye, folks. Love you.